Good morning, happy Monday. Kind of a heavy topic for a Monday, but we're discussing aging parents and all that goes with that. I am speaking from my perspective, been there, done that. My mom was 79 when she died in 1997, and my dad was 91 when he died in 2015. So I had a lot of calls last evening, from, it was primarily friends, but people I know saying, oh my God, I went to see mom and dad, and oh my God, Brenda, they're old. Well, yeah, honey, it happens. We're all going to get old, but there's a lot of emotion. It's big when you go see your parents all the time, and one day you go and they're feeble, they're delicate, they're vulnerable. Maybe they took a fall. And it's just, wow, everything changes. Last time you saw them, you didn't see them through this lens. And now, wow, what are we going to do? This isn't the mom and dad that you remember. This isn't the mom and dad that you had 6 months ago. Maybe they have a trimmer now. Maybe they need a cane or a walker. Maybe their memory's not what it was. Their mentation is going a little bit. It's big, and it's happening. And it's happening to families all over the world. So, sweetheart, you're not the only one. Both of my parents, their minds were clear as a bell to the very end. But my mom had cancer, and cancer is very debilitating. She was able to stay in the home. Daddy took care of her, all the way to the very, very end. But it was hard watching that happen. And she's a very independent woman. And it was very difficult to see her not be able to get up and cook, not to be able to go get the mail. It got to the point she was just pretty much in a recliner. And it was really sad and very troubling. And my son at the time was in high school. I think it was his senior year when she passed. And my son was really close to his grandparents, and it just was devastating to him to watch this happen. Now, my dad, on the other hand, was a very vibrant man, very active, loved to bowl, loved to play golf. We always belonged to the country club. And so after mom passed, he took it hard, but after a while he got back out there, and he was playing poker with the guys, and he was on a couple of golf leagues, and he was doing, all things considered, he was doing really well. And he met someone and remarried. Now, their lifestyles were completely opposite. Where dad liked to play golf and have dinner at the country club and be with friends and entertain, his new wife didn't. She was strictly sit at home, go to church on Sunday, your grandkids come visit, that's the end of it. Well, two worlds collide, and his health immediately started to spiral down because he wasn't able to participate in what he used to love to do. And it will take its toll. And after a couple of years, I went to him and I said, I got a surprise for you. And he always kind of rolls his eyes because you never know. When I give you a present, I shop good and I shop big. And he said, what'd you do this time? And I said, I bought you a membership to the country club, and I'm paying the dues, and I want you to get back out there. And even if it's just on the putting green and, you're chipping a little bit, you don't have to, play 9 holes. I just want you out there with your friends. He was happy. I have a picture of him back out there, and the smile on his face was just worth $1 million to me. And he had fun, and his health started picking up. He started laughing again and joking again, and he was the old Joe that everybody knew and loved. And it was wonderful. Well, except for his new wife, and she wasn't so wonderful about it. And after about 6 months, he came to me and said, yeah, we can't do this. It's causing problems. Okay. And his health immediately started to decline because he couldn't get back out there and do what he loved. He wasn't around his buddies. Okay, that's their decision. None of my business. but it really broke my heart. It did. Because he really enjoyed the guys. Now, my dad and his spouse had given up the family home and moved into an assisted living, which was very nice. It was a nice little retirement village. And yeah, some of the other guys that he played golf with, they had started to migrate over there too, because it was a very nice facility. And everybody had, it wasn't an apartment, it's like a duplex. So 2-bedroom, 2-bath, very nice. So at least he could see them on occasion, but nobody, they're still playing golf. They're still playing cards. They're still doing stuff. Their wives are all getting together for lunches at the country club. And yeah, Dad's new wife didn't want any part of that. So it was, it was his decision, and you have to respect that. My point being, encourage them to keep their independence. Encourage them, help them continue to participate in things they love. Maybe they like to bowl, or they did, and they just can't do it now. Well, now that doesn't mean they can't coach a kids' bowling league, because they might love that. They might like getting out there, and all they have to do is sit, for the most part, and advise kids how to bowl. Advise kids how to play golf. How to change their swing and how to stay focused, and keep them engaged in the activities that they love. Try your best to help them stay in touch with their friends. That's essential. It's so important for our parents to maintain a quality of life that they're used to. I know a lot of times families, because I get a lot of these calls, mom fell, dad fell, they're in a nursing home for rehab right now. Maybe they had a hip replacement, knee replacement. We're thinking about having them move in with us, and they don't want any part of it. And we don't understand why. I'm going to be honest, because I had this discussion with my dad. My dad and I had a very open relationship. So he spoke his mind, just kind of like I tend to do. And honestly, sweetheart, in all honesty, they probably don't want the trauma, drama, and the noise. As people age, they don't want to be around a lot of commotion. Now, some do, but a lot, I would say, this is my experience and also from my practice, I would say 80% at least, if not more so, they want a quiet life. I mean, it's great when the kids come to visit, or when you come get them and take them over to visit, relatives. That's great for a short period of time. They don't want the trauma drama of kids fighting, listening to you and your spouse fight, listening to you and the kids fight, kids having company over. And while it's fun to see the kids and to get that energy of youth, well, a little goes a long way. And they don't want to be responsible for fights in your house. They don't want to be around the trauma drama. They can't handle the chaos like they used to. My dad, there's not a word for this. My dad absolutely adored my son's wife, my daughter-in-law, and my granddaughter. And my granddaughter was, oh my gosh, let's see, how old is she now? So she was about two or three, when my dad passed. My dad thought that child hung the sun, the moon, and every star in the sky. He adored them, and he'd love for them to come visit, but it would get to him. And my son and his wife are just absolutely lovely people, but it's just the commotion in the house, having people around. I would go visit him, and I would always say, I'm going to stay at a hotel, which was just a few blocks away. No, you have to stay with us. Oh God, no. Oh, please. No, not that. I mean, they kept the house at 175 degrees, and, everybody goes to bed at 8 o'clock, and it was just, yeah, no, but, do what you do for your parents. But they had a very quiet life. And if I would get phone calls, I had my cell phone with me, and I would get calls, and that would upset my dad. Do you have to answer that? Well, yeah, I kind of have to answer that, And it was just, they're aging. So don't try to get them to conform to your way of life. Try to incorporate theirs into yours. Be supportive. Honey, they're not going to be with you forever and a day. So make the years that are left, make them just precious. Do what you can to keep them positive and uplifted, and incorporate things that they love whenever you're around them. If your mom loves gardening, take her to a nursery, take her to a botanical garden. If she doesn't get around anymore, get a wheelchair. Whatever it takes to keep them comfortable, keep them safe. Safety is so important, but do what you can. A big issue is when it is time to take away the car keys. That is a very ugly talk. And they may know it, and they may not have driven for the last year. But it's just, especially, I would say more so for men, especially older men. Now, you have to remember, my dad was in his 90s. When you take away the car keys, you're taking away their independence. It's emasculating. It's almost taking away their manhood. So even if they're not going to drive, you can let them hang onto the keys with the understanding you're not getting behind the wheel under any circumstance. Because that will hit them hard. When, they may not have a driver's license, it may have expired, that's fine. But make sure they understand you're not driving. It is not safe. Your reflexes aren't what they were. Your vision isn't what it was. And that was big for my dad. I mean, he cried. When he found out he had macular degeneration, and he found out, yeah, you're not driving anymore. Now, he hadn't driven, for a few months, but it's beside the point. So be sensitive to their emotions and their state of mind and their generation. Their generation is different than your generation. And please explain that to your children, that Grandma and Grandpa's generation is completely different than yours. Be respectful. Don't think it's funny to tease them and make fun of them, because it isn't. It's really cruel. Be supportive. If they don't want to move into your home with you and your family, that's okay. They want their independence. If that means they go to an assisted living, great. That's fine. If you can't make it to see them every week, FaceTime them. Do something, call them. It's so important to keep them engaged in family. I see too many people that literally park loved ones in a nursing home, and that's the end of it. They're done. They never hear from them again. That is horrible. There's no reason to do that. It's painful for them too, knowing that maybe you're not ever going to come visit them again, because they see that with other people there. That's a fear. When my dad, he was in really bad health, and he was in and out of the hospital. He would have to go from the hospital into a nursing home for a short period of time for rehab to get his strength back up before he could go home. And I would drive 3 hours, 3 times a week to see him. Was it inconvenience? Yeah. Was it expensive? Yeah. But he was my daddy, and Daddy was worth it. I would do it all over again for that man. Absolutely. Talk to them about the end game, how they want their passing. It's a hard discussion to have, but it's important. Do they want to die at home? Maybe they don't. Maybe they do. Touch on the fact that, circumstances may come up and you may not be able to carry through with their wishes. My dad wanted to die at home. I had promised my mom when she died, Daddy would not be in a nursing home. I will bring him into my house before he goes into a nursing home. And that was just understood. Daddy remarried. Came down to endgame. And Dad was very with it. He knew everything going on. And they said, okay, you're on, he knew he was on hospice. He was cool with that. He knew he was dying. He was ready to go. He was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And his spouse said, yeah, well, you're not dying at the house. No, that's not going to happen. I don't want strangers in and out of the house. He was on oxygen. I don't want machines all over the house. No, not going to happen. Okay. I did not take that well. But okay. And my dad, God love him, it's okay, Bryn, it's okay. It is what it is. We're going to deal with it. Okay. Now you know how I get my attitude sometimes. Okay. So I was there. They moved him just kind of across the street to the nursing home. He was there 22 hours. Was it 22 hours? 20 hours when he passed. I was there when they got him in his new room and got him unpacked. I went and got him a cup of coffee. And I held him when he passed and took his last breath. He did it on his terms. I allowed, and my siblings allowed him the grace and the dignity and the respect to do it his way. Now, his spouse, that's another issue. None of my business. I think what she did was rude and very disrespectful. That's my opinion. But Daddy did it his way. My mom, when she died at home on hospice. She did it her way. Find out their final wishes. And if you can, adhere to that. If you can't, honey, they understand. They do. If you have a parent, I know this is getting long, we're over 15 minutes now, so I'm trying to wrap it up. If you have a parent who is dealing with Alzheimer, dementia, Parkinson's, cancer of the brain, all kinds of neurological diseases that affect mentation, how you think. Be patient, be kind. Don't talk rough to them. Don't get mad at them. If they say something that just makes absolutely no sense, or something that is absolutely, if they say there's a blue giraffe sitting next to you, say, I know, isn't it the prettiest shade of blue? Go along with it. Just go along with it. They're worth it. They're worth it. They're not going to be with you forever. Just go along with it. Okay? And if you have questions, you have concerns, you need to vent. It's okay to feel whatever you're feeling. Don't express it to them. Don't tell them you're mad and frustrated and angry. No. You be kind, loving, and supportive to them. And you find a safe place to vent. Okay? A lot of people call me. There's a lot of life coaches out there. There's a lot of therapists, a lot of social workers. Most hospitals have social services. Nursing homes should have social services, depending on where you live. There's always, the community ministers, rabbis, imams. But find a safe place to vent, okay? Remember, you're worth having a good relationship with your parents before they pass. Honey, they are so worth it. They are so worth it. I'm here. If you have questions, DM me. I'm on Facebook. I have a personal and professional page on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. And of course, I have my YouTube channel. So we'll get through this. It's okay.